It's a pet's life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit apetslife.ie.
And you can text or WhatsApp us now on 0833 97 97 97. Still to come, we're going to be talking about basset hounds and greyhounds and God knows what else in between. But the most important thing to talk to Des about is his left arm.
Yeah, thanks, John. My left arm. My left arm is a very obvious bandage on it. I have a bandage on the right elbow as well and a bandage on my knee. I got absolutely milled off the bike on Sunday morning.
Human error, though.
Yes, slapped off the road.
Now, let me clarify, was human error?
A little bit.
It was your human error, was it?
To be fair, I can blame the road, but it was. I took my eye off the road for a second and looked over my shoulder to see where was the fella behind me. How close was he? Were you riding
a kind of a mountain bike or a racing bike?
Racing bike. Flying along, doing 30 kilometres an hour.
Wow.
One fella with me on the way back from a big long spin down to Laois, and we were going through Monasterevin, and there's a whole line of these water drains in the road, just inside the footpaths, on the way into Monasterevin, and there's little potholes and holes in the ground, unfortunately, beside them.
Yeah.
So I just took me off the road for a second, had a quick look to see where's Niall behind me, and into this pothole, and the handlebar of the bike just kind of did a zigzag left and right, and I went out the side, slapped off the road, and took a load of skin off my left arm and left leg, and rolled to get in off the road quickly as I was falling, and took skin off the right elbow, right arm as well.
And how many stitches did you get?
A couple of these kind of steri strips and glue in the right elbow and the right and the left elbow and the left knee.
Yeah.
And I'm bandaged up, and I've changed the dressing again now today.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, that's what happened to me Sunday.
The advantage of being a vet, you could do all that stuff.
Well, I gave it a good old scrub and hippie scrub and iodine and the whole lot. I cleaned it up myself, and I stuck a bit of vet wrap on it.
Yeah.
But I realised I hadn't gotten all of the tarmac.
Half the road of Monasterevin was still stuck in the air.
Half the road of Monasterevin was still stuck to me. I was bringing tarmac with me, so I knew I'd have to get professional help. So I went to KDOC, and I must say they were very good. They saw me within an hour of ringing up. Lovely nurse there, Gail, and Dr. Hilda, and they looked after me really well. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I got spare dressings to put on again today, and I'm on a painkiller.
Where's KDOC based?
There is no bother on me.
Where's KDOC based?
The Vista Clinic.
Oh, yeah, the Vista. In
so it's a great service.
Yeah, brilliant.
A great service. They looked after me.
They looked after you. What time was that then?
No bother on me. That was about 5 o'clock on Sunday evening.
Right,
by the time I got into them.
Okay.
And they saw me almost straight away.
That's excellent.
But within an hour of ringing up, I was seen.
Brilliant. Okay. How do you feel now?
Not a bother on me, just a bit sore. I'll keep taking the painkillers.
Yeah, good.
I'll be back on the bike again next weekend. Don't worry, it won't stop me.
Keeps you going, keeps you healthy as well.
This is it.
Yeah, very good. What's your normal cycling range? Like, I mean, what would you normally do?
Oh yeah, 100k. I must say as well, compliments to Naas Cycling Club.
Yeah.
The Sunday before, the Tour of Kildare was on. Now, the Tour of Kildare is literally a loop of half the county, including all the nice big hills on the western side of Kildare, Ballymore, Eustace, kind of that direction, Eadestown, on the way into Naas from the hilly side.
Yeah.
So 120k of a loop, and that was from Kildare County Council car park.
Right.
Out and back, a whole day of it.
Okay.
And there was, I don't know, there must have been 500 cyclists. So Naas Cycling Club organised that Tour of Kildare the previous week, 120k. I did that, and it was a great day out. About 15 of us from Kildare Cycling Club did it.
Very good. Okay, well done.
And this Sunday we just went to Laois, and we just had a kind of like a group spin.
I love it.
Just had a kind of a group spin.
A little old 100k cycle.
110.
110.
Yeah.
Very good. How long does that take? In real money?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah,
okay.
4 hours. Now, got the fall on the way back, so I had to ride the last 12k back feeling
rough.
Pretty sore, feeling rough and pumping blood, but that's what you have to do.
Sure, you're a hard man.
That's what you have to do.
Right, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, you were off on your adventures, off of doing greyhound stuff. Explain.
Nice conference in UCD, in the Vet College in UCD last week, and it was focusing on dog injuries and working dogs and sporting dogs and racing greyhounds. So it was all about different injuries and types of surgeries for treating injuries. And there were a couple of interesting lectures. There was a very interesting lecture about heat stroke.
Okay.
And the different forms of heat stroke. And I mentioned that all the time.
Especially during the summer months, yeah.
Yeah, now, and I was relieved to and gratified to hear that a visiting expert from Australia talking about heat stroke, and she made the point that adaptation to heat is a big factor. In other words, dogs in Ireland can get heat stroke at 20 degrees.
Right.
Even though they can be used to 30 degrees in Australia, they're not used to it here.
Okay.
So without physiological adaptation, dogs can get heat stroke at 18 and 20 degrees. Other factors that make heat stroke worse and more severe: dogs that are older, dogs that are overweight, dogs that are not fit.
Yeah.
So fitness and general physiological well-being is a big part of the way they cope with or manage heat stroke, or don't manage it, as the case may be. So you have to be really careful with older dogs.
Okay.
And people can be surprised. Oh, he was fine. He's struggling this year. Why is he struggling this summer? Well, he's a year older and he's 5 kilos heavier. So there's physical reasons why. Heat adaptation and heat stroke can be more severe, and every case can be a little bit different. So that lecture on heat stroke was really interesting. There was another really interesting lecture about the physiological differences between greyhounds and normal dogs.
Okay.
Greyhounds really are like racehorses. They really are a racing machine.
They are a racing machine.
Yeah.
Short
You know, the
sprint.
average speed of a greyhound race now has gone up to 71 kilos.
Wow.
71 kilometres. That's the speed they travel at.
Right, I didn't realise it was that fast.
Yeah, that is fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you think about greyhounds, there's all sorts of stuff goes on about greyhounds, especially in this county as well. I mean, there's, you know, they do their running or their racing, and subsequently then they're left out to pasture, literally, or they're sent off to the various different locations. But you were touching on something which I know you've often mentioned, that greyhounds make great pets.
They make great pets. So they're sight hounds, which means they're naturally very calm, and they're placid, and they're submissive, and they're highly intelligent.
Are they friendly?
Yeah. Yeah. They are friendly. They are friendly. And you see, they've grown up with people as well, because they've been handled a lot. Like, greyhound puppies get more handling throughout their lives than the average family pet does, because they're in a professional kennels environment where they're walked and they're galloped and they're fed and they're handled and they're managed by different people every single day of their lives. Yeah. So they're very well mannered and very well socialised by the time they're finished their racing career, and they make great pets.
Would most greyhounds' pets, when they become pets after their racing career, are they usually kept outside or inside?
Indoors.
Indoors?
Yeah. And they're indoors in heated kennels nowadays. The top greyhound trainers have heated kennels.
I know, the infrared stuff.
Infrared, and they're on cushioned beds so that they don't get pressure sores or calluses. They're very well minded, because trainers understand that their bones and muscles need to be in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
So when they are rehomed then to be pets, they should be indoors. They're going to be house trained. They're going to be very clean and easy to keep. They don't shed hair.
Yeah.
And they'll make a lovely house pet and live very well alongside
what do they eat? What do
family
they live
members. They're omnivores. They'll eat a general diet. So the diet of racing greyhounds during training is interesting. They're on a compound mix, which is a balanced diet, and that's in the nut form, the same as a normal dry food, except the nut that's made up for racing dogs is much higher in fat and protein and carbohydrates. Right. So they have a much higher calorific need than a pet dog. So a pet dog of 30 kilos would burn 1,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
A greyhound of 30 kilos will burn 1,700 to 2,000 calories a day, nearly as much as a human adult.
Yeah.
So they need 30% protein, they need 20% fat, they need 5% fibre, they need 40% carbohydrate. So it's a much more powerful type of a diet, the working dog diet, and it wouldn't be suitable for a pet dog.
Right.
So going forward a few years, when you retire these dogs, the recommended best way to feed them, because their metabolism, their muscles need to learn and understand and adapt over time to being pets.
Yeah.
So you just simply put them on a maintenance balanced pet dog, adult dog diet at that stage, because their calorific need, the need for that explosive speed and bursts of energy, and the need for all that glycogen in those powerful muscles, that reduces with age when they're just pets. So they do very well on a balanced normal dog diet.
Okay, so if somebody decides they want to adopt a greyhound, so what's the advice you give them regarding exercise and walking? Because we know they're a bit like whippets. They like quick bursts rather than long walks, I presume. Yeah, so thinking of my kind of neighbourhood, and I was sort of considering it myself now, say, right, look, kind of circumstances are settled and could get a greyhound again, and now a pet greyhound. So you'd go to somewhere like the Canal Bank, Milltown, Rathangan, these sort of places where you could let the dog off for a little burst of a run and play. But about an hour or so of a walk, run and play time would be enough for them. Do you know when they're when they're socialising amongst themselves at play, they're not like professional robots all the time.
They love to play. They love to just chase each other and run and chase something imaginary and come back, exactly like puppies. So you can exercise them with that type of a little routine of them having a few little bursts of a few runs, and the recall will be good. They'll come back to you, and then they'll be tired. They don't need hours. Now a collie, which is used to, which for argument's sake, if you had a working dog collie and you retired it, that collie has probably been very active and been on its feet, been out and about on the farm for hours every day, and the collie probably would still need hours of exercise. But these sight hounds that are bred and trained and adapted for short bursts, They make do with a couple of walks and a couple of little runs in the day, and the rest of the time they're happy to chill as long as there's people around them and there's kind of, they can see there's something going on, and they have company and they have companionship, and they're watching the people and they enjoy human company, and they'll just chill in the house for 20 hours a day. As I say, they only need those couple of runs, couple of walks in the day.
Okay. Are greyhounds easy to keep regarding looking after health-wise? Are they kind of one of these type of dogs that do get ailments and things?
Now, a retired racing one might have kind of old legacy injuries that could develop into arthritis in later life.
Yeah.
And that'll be something you'd have to be aware of. They could stiffen up and be sore and develop old age, middle age related aches and pains. That would be to be expected. Apart from that, no, they're easy enough.
Okay. And one final thing, just regarding just owning him. Are people sceptical about getting one from a pound, as in greyhounds? Are people kind of afraid, or they automatically think that they don't make good pets? Yeah,
they're a bit afraid whether they're going to be dangerous or whether they're going to chase other dogs, or are they going to kill the cat? Are they going to kill the little fluffy Bichon? That sort of thing. So it might be useful to just find out a bit more about the history. Just be sure before you rehome one that it is safe around little small dogs, and it is safe around cats. They can be kind of more than a lot of other working dog breeds that can be inclined to chase a small dog thinking it's a hare or a rabbit or whatever, unfortunately. And some of them don't like cats. That can be another thing. They can chase a cat. So you have to be careful of that. But as I say, a lot of working dogs are not good with cats. And a lot of big dogs are not good with small dogs. Something you just have to check.
And what else did you learn from the course?
Oh, the heat injury one was very good, wasn't it? Greyhounds get a lot more toe and paw injuries and ailments and sorenesses than other dogs. And they reckon the reason for that is because they have a good heavy body weight, they have long, thin legs, and they have a slimmer and thinner pad on their paw, because their legs are adapted for speed and for running and for aerodynamics. So they actually get more toe and paw aches and pains and illnesses and bruises than a normal pet dog. So that's an interesting thing with them.
Okay, very good as well. Did you enjoy the course, by the way?
Very good, actually, organised by a colleague, Dennis Speary, who's a vet based in Rathangan, who specialises in greyhounds, and he brought over several experts from Australia.
Right. And
there are people out there that do nothing but racing greyhounds, you see.
Okay.
And the different injuries and ailments they get. So these guys, there was a great chat about, the welfare and the future of greyhound racing and the future life of these dogs.
Was the actual course that you did on this, was it based on the fact that if somebody was bringing a racing greyhound to you, you just learned a little bit more about it, is it?
Yeah, that was it. And a lot of the information is applicable to all big dogs and all working dogs.
Right, okay.
In terms of muscle injuries, hip injuries and things they get.
Okay. Jean was on. She just says, guys, I adopted 2 years ago back 2 whippets, brother and sister. They're part of the family. Best decision ever.
Good, glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, whippets are a smaller version of a greyhound.
Yeah.
They're leaner and lighter. They're a lovely, calm little dog, a lovely, clean little dog. Thin-coated. They don't shed.
Yeah.
You were asking me about that, about the heat. One of the reasons why they would do better indoors is because they are thin-skinned and thin-coated. They don't have a big layer of fat under their skin like a Labrador might.
Yeah.
So they do get cold.
Okay.
And this is why you'll notice greyhounds at the track.
Yeah.
And they have coats on them.
Okay.
So a greyhound is a dog that could or should have a coat.
Okay. Paula was on. She's got a Golden Cocker Spaniel and a Springer Spaniel. Why do both of these dogs constantly eat and throw out the bedding outside? They keep on dragging it outside the kennels.
Yeah, they're working dogs, aren't they? Cocker Spaniels and Springer Spaniels are both descended from gun dogs.
Okay.
So it's only a few generations back that those two dogs would have been working all day, every day, out on farms.
Yeah.
So they're probably bored, unfortunately, I have to say, if they're engaging in behaviours like that. Now, you can modify it, you can train them to behave more appropriately.
Right.
You know, catch them in the act and say no, and, you know, put them into their crates when they do it. So you can put deterrents in place. You can train them out of that behaviour, but they're doing it because their minds are too busy, they're hyper, and they're bored.
Okay. I remember you saying something to me many months ago back, or maybe even more, about using horse blankets as bedding, that they're less inclined to pull them apart.
Yeah, less inclined to pull them apart.
Why?
They're more hard wearing.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I would say that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Dogs like that, they should be trained to go into their crates when they're not at play and rest and sleep for intervals.
Okay.
And that gives you a chance to manage or control when they're going to be destructive.
Right, okay, fair enough. Okay, something else I want to bring to your attention, and that is, it's been all over the news today, and it's kind of ongoing, is real animals' rights charities urging people to adopt dogs rather than going to a puppy farm.
Yeah, good. Adopt, don't shop is a motto, isn't it? A good motto.
Yeah, and this was all based on the 11-week-old puppies who surrendered to its services yesterday after the owners realised they couldn't look after them. The family bought the two basset hounds to the animal shelter just days after buying them from a breeder, and the Director of Operations of the DSPCA, Suzanne McGovern, is urging people to adopt animal shelters. Just have a listen to what she had to say there, Des, and then we can have a chat about it. With a bit of luck, it should be there.
See these lovely puppies. Please consider it.
Okay, it didn't work. Okay, not to worry. There's two different clips coming out. But basically, she was use the puppy farms, and don't use the puppy farms. Obviously, go and adopt them themselves, I suppose, is the key message.
Yeah, you see, so these pups are all being sold now online, and the online shops don't have enough filters in place to prevent impulse purchasing.
Yeah.
So what strikes me about that situation is that those people only gave the puppies a few days before they realised or decided that they couldn't manage. So those puppies must have been a real impulse purchase.
Yeah.
There was no planning or forethought whatsoever. And so it's very hard to reconcile that with the fact that these are two living sentient beings with natural needs, and you've taken them home totally unprepared. And then you've changed your mind within a few days and decided, I can't manage these. It's awfully irresponsible. It's very callous. It's very harsh that anybody would do that. And it's very sad, as I say, that the online sales system is still set up in such a way that impulse purchasing is possible. So all we can do is advise people against impulse purchasing. A few simple things is, if you're interested in getting a puppy, have lots of chats with different people about what type of puppy will suit your life, your home, your family. So just because and then you'll get one that'll be a disaster. And maybe that particular family, maybe Basses didn't suit them. Maybe one puppy would have been better instead of two. Maybe they needed an older dog. They weren't prepared for the work and the time and effort required with puppies. I've said this before here. Sometimes it's a good idea to go to the shelters and adopt an older dog, because an older dog is already toilet trained and is instantly lower maintenance and less work and less training and less hassle with an older dog.
Yeah. Taking
on a puppy requires commitment and knowledge and planning. So you can adopt without the same workload and disadvantages.
But what about people
buying a puppy?
What about people who genuinely want to buy purebred dogs? Say whether it's the two basset hounds that were over in the news stories.
Yeah.
Or what if people specifically said, I want to buy two Labradors, two basset hounds, two golden cocker spaniels, two whatever, or one? What is the golden rule?
So go and look at the parents.
Yeah.
Go and look at the setup. Where are they bred? Where do they come from? You want to just form a connection with the people who are selling the dog and satisfy yourself that they're genuine, that they're sound, that you can trust them, and that they're good dog people. And at least you need to see the mother in her natural environment and the puppies with her.
Yeah.
This scenario of going to somebody's house and there's only one puppy there, what tends to happen is, unfortunately, the puppy farms have local people who act as a kind of a filter.
Yeah.
And they'll give someone one puppy to sell for them.
Yeah.
So you go to a place and you meet a person and they might seem genuine and they have one pup and they'll make excuses about where the other pup is or where the mother is. The problem, the likelihood is that they're just a supplier, that they've only just taken that puppy for a day or two to sell it. And that puppy could well have come from a puppy farm round the corner.
Okay.
So you need to see the mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be aware of the fact that if you don't see the mother...
You need to see them with them.
You need to see them with the mother, because other than that, the likelihood is this puppy in the kitchen by itself with this person, with this one family who has this one puppy and no sign of the mother, the likelihood is he came from the puppy farm round the corner.
Okay, Mick was on and he said just a couple of weeks ago there were 6 pups and 2 adult male dogs dumped out on the Curragh. The puppies were left there to die. A man out walking found the dogs and they were collected by the Kildare Animal Foundation. Unfortunately, one of the puppies died. The other puppies found good homes last week. How lucky were the puppies predominantly that some man found them, and how cruel it was for the person to dump them. That seems to be quite frequent.
Yeah, that's a good story, and that reminds me to say what you said there about that if you want a puppy, if you're determined that you want a puppy of a particular breed, they do find their way into shelters.
Okay.
So you could find one in a shelter. Okay. And it might be a perfect puppy for your needs.
Okay, on that note, Des, great way to wrap up. We're done and dusted.
Thanks, Dave.
We'll be podcasting this a little bit later on. As always, we will talk to Des next week.
Lovely, John. Thanks. See you next week.
Cheers, bye.
It's a pet's life with Jim Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.